Hi, Chef Dan Catano here at MealPro, culinary arts instructor. So let's just talk about clam chowders. This is a red chowder called Manhattan clam chowder. So easy to remember, Manhattan, New York. Manhattan, the apple, the red apple, right? The big apple. So if you keep that in mind, you know, when you see it on the menu, Manhattan clam chowder, it's going to be the red clam chowder. So let's look at the ingredients that I have. I have celery and onions. Okay, I have peppers. If you don't want to put them in there, you don't have to, but I do. I think it's great. I have chopped clams. I have clam base. Okay, I have a Pinot Grigio white wine. You could use a Chardonnay white wine if you choose to do so. I have a tomato product here that I use, and when you go into the stores, okay, into the tomato aisle in any of the supermarkets around, look for the cioppino sauce. Okay, that's what I use to make this red clam chowder. So the first thing I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take and I'm going to put some olive oil. I like using extra virgin olive oil, no other oils, because it just it's all very healthy for you as well. Okay, so I'm going to put that olive oil in there, and then I'm going to just take my peppers, onion, celery, and I'm going to put that right into my skillet. Get that cooking there. Okay, I'm just going to mix that around. And then I'm going to add my bay leaf, because you want the bay leaf up maybe 4 or 5. If they're tiny ones, add 5. The bay leaf is going to release some of the oils from it when you saute. So I'm just going to add the bay leaf in there too as well. Turn my flame up to like maybe 375. Okay, so that's nice and getting hot and sauteing off. You just want to release the juices, okay, from the celery and the onions and the pepper. Okay, so that's why you would saute it off a little bit, okay? It just absolutely looks really beautiful with the red peppers and the orange peppers, the onion and the celery. It's so awesome. Okay, and then you want to try to keep this as low sodium as possible. So what I use, I substitute my salts with like Mrs. Dash or fresh chopped herbs. You know, and then just naturally let the salts that may be inside of the clam itself be the seasoning inside, okay? Just sauteing that up a little bit. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to add my chopped clams. So I'm going to add my clams inside. Okay, this is a half of a can because I used the other half can for the New England clam chowder that we made. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my spices. Okay, so I have Mrs. Dash. So I'm going to add like maybe 2 teaspoons of Mrs. Dash. That's my salt substitute, right? Salt substitute. Okay, whole thyme leaf. So you could buy that dry thyme leaf. I'm just going to, don't add too much. I'm just going to add maybe a teaspoon of the dry thyme in it. Okay. I have garlic, granulated garlic here. So I'm going to add like maybe a teaspoon of granulated garlic inside of it. Give it up a little bit. Onion powder, right? So I'm just going to add like the same thing. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. You have your pen and pencils out to write this stuff down? You better, I'm going to test you. Okay, so here you go with the onion powder there. Okay, and I'm just going to give that a swirl. And let that simmer there a little bit. Okay, so I have like maybe a half a cup of chopped fresh parsley. So I'm going to add that chopped fresh parsley in there as well. And then I have some fresh lemon juice, right? I mean, fresh lemon. So I just take a fork, right? And I just take maybe a little strainer there. You don't even have to use the fork. Just take it and squeeze it so you don't have any seeds that are inside of that. So I do 1 whole fresh lemon inside. Take a look at that. There's about 3 or 4 seeds that came out of that, right? Okay, there's some pulp of the lemon in there. So I'm just going to take the seeds and dump them in my can here. I'm using for my waste can. Right inside there. And then the pulp, I'm just going to just tap my screen and put it right back into the soup, my chowder. And believe it or not, it's almost there. Okay, now at the store, you could also buy what we call paste. Like there's beef base, chicken base, fish base, lobster base. This happens to be a clam base. So I'm going to add, because it's strong, because this little 1 pounder makes 5 gallons of clam broth, 5. So I'm just going to add just a little half teaspoon of this right inside, just to kick it up some to make it clam chowdery and to have that chowder clam flavor. I'm going to stir that up. You go to the store, go down the aisle, and what you're going to hunt for is cioppino sauce, okay? Not just a regular marinara or a regular tomato. You're going to hunt down a cioppino sauce. So I have that whole jar of cioppino sauce. I'm just going to add that right inside of my skillet. Make sure I get all the real goody things out of that and scrape it out with my spatula. Now I'm going to add half a cup, as Italians call a half a cup of white wine. So I'm just going to pour it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Voila. Or molto bene in Italian. All right, so this I'm going to take it and just swirl it around. And look at that. This Manhattan clam chowder is almost already done. Just a real nice looking chowder. And I think what really makes this Manhattan clam chowder is hunting down at your local grocery supermarkets, that cioppino sauce that they have underneath within all the shelves of the tomato products that they have, tomato marinara, tomato sauce, mushroom truffle tomato sauce. Just look for the one that says cioppino on it, right? Because we know cioppino is a seafood dish that's created and made in San Francisco at the Fisherman's Wharf, cioppino. All right, so as that's going, of course, the rule of thumb in the kitchen or wherever you go, even professionally, is you taste your food. Okay. So I'm just going to get a little spoon, push that over a little bit, because this is going to simmer for about maybe another 5-10 minutes, just to bring it all together. The best. It's so delicious. So you see how easy that is? Just write all the ingredients down. If you forget some, go back to the YouTube channel, type in Manhattan Clam Chowder, MealPro Manhattan Clam Chowder to get to this recipe, and just take notes to it. Play around with it. Have fun with your food. Bring people over and have a nice dinner with maybe some baked salmon or something, and have this sauce. This Manhattan Clam Chowder for dinner. All right, there you go. The other chowder. Manhattan clam chowder. All right, don't forget to click the like button and then click subscribe to us for all the other items that we have here at MealPro. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you all, and arrivederci, and enjoy the food.